Hi everybody, this is Mark at Mid-Valley Greenhouse up here in Alaska. Today we're going to go over tomato leaf types and some basic pruning. We're still getting pruning questions, so we're going to drive this home. Anyway, tomato leaf types. There's two main types of leaves that you're going to find on tomato plants. This one is potato leaf. It has no serrated edges. You see it's very smooth on the outside edge. That's potato leaf. Then we have regular leaf. It's serrated, right? That's the only difference, really. They both grow beefsteak type tomatoes, standard slicers or saladettes. You find it across the board. Then you're going to have a third type that's kind of an in-between of potato leaf. And you see these on the dwarf varieties a lot, where it goes. And this is kind of in between regular leaf and potato leaf. And you also will find on some of the paste tomatoes and some of the varieties I've seen, especially some of the Russians, you get this fern leaf stuff. It almost looks like the virus leaf, but it's not. They're healthy leaves, but they come out real wispy, almost like a fern leaf. And this would be classified as regular leaf still, but you can see the difference in the leaves. And you see this on the Anna Russian. A lot of paste tomato types have, especially when they're the elongated types, they have this kind of more fragile foliage. So next we want to go into pruning again. So let's be clear. Standard tomatoes and beefsteaks we want to prune if we're growing in a container, because you have a limited ability to grow all these extra branches, leaves, all this stuff. So they've learned that they get more fruit per cubic foot of space if we manage our plants. And so if we look closely, everywhere a leaf comes out, you can see where I've already popped the suckers out, and here a leaf comes out and you see a sucker still left in there. I want to take this out. And the same thing here, but this is more like a natural fork that's trying to happen. And that's just too bad. We're going to take that out too. We're going to keep this growing like a vine, and we have a truss, another truss, and another truss. We're going to do this till October, and I'll show you how we manage the plants and keep them from becoming, 14 feet tall up there. You can't do it that way, but we'll get into that later. So the next variety, this is a beefsteak variety, so it's strict pruning. So the smaller the tomatoes get, as far as variety, the more branches you can let them have, because you don't have a gigantic tomato using up all these nutrients, right? And so like the golf ball size tomatoes, even a tennis ball size, you can let them have a couple branches and it's not going to do anything. Now if you increase your pot size, you can have as many branches on any variety, well 4 or 5, even 3 or 4 on a beefsteak. You could do that, but it takes up your cubic feet of space. Remember, we're out for production, the most production in a cubic foot of space. That's why we do this stuff. Like I said, we can let them branch out and do all this, but it's not recommended if you're going for yield. Not yield on one plant, yield in your space. Okay? So your cherry tomatoes, again, you can get in there and clean them up a little bit. They are indeterminates. Just like this is an undetermined lifespan. As long as you let the plant grow or can keep it growing, it's going to grow. You prune the cherries up a little bit, clean them up, mainly to keep the disease from catching hold in the middle of the plant where you don't get good air circulation, etc. Your determinants, like for instance these dwarf varieties, you don't prune those at all. You can clean them up a little bit inside for disease prevention. The outdoor Russian tomatoes I sell, we do not prune those. There's no need to. They have a determined lifespan. Every branch terminates in a truss or tomatoes in the end, so you don't want to prune those. I hope this helps, and we'll keep going through it till it's clear. So keep that in mind. Pruning, and you got your leaf styles, and we'll go into it more later. Thanks.